In today's video from Practically Noah Productions, we're going to take a look at the differences between the Mii Maker interfaces on the Nintendo Switch 1 versus the Nintendo Switch 2. How's it going, everybody? Practically Noah here, back again with another Nintendo Switch 2 topic video. It's been almost a week since the Nintendo Switch 2 was released, and I found out how to make the Miis in the system. But I decided, let's take a look at the differences between the Switch 1 version of the Mii Maker interface and the Nintendo Switch 2's Mii Maker interface. Let's get into how to go into the Mii Maker interface. Let's start with the Nintendo Switch 1. So, in order to do so, you go to System Settings, and you scroll down to where it says Mii, M-I-I. Then you can click on Create/Edit a Mii. Now, I mentioned this before in a Empire Jokers related video. Miis are Nintendo's personal avatar creation tool, where you can make your own character based on yourself, based on what you think you look like, or based on what your personality is like. And a bunch of people also make custom Miis of like pop culture references, like cartoons, celebrities, and gimmicks of jokes. Anyway, let's take a look at the Mii Maker on the Switch 1 first. So here's a problem with the Switch 1. Let's say you change your background to the black theme. It doesn't turn the black theme into the Mii Maker. That's really unfortunate. So that's going to be a bummer for those who are using the black interface and don't want to damage the screen of either their TV or Switch 1's tablet screen. So here's the Mii list, and you're only limited to up to 100 Miis in your collection. The Miis originates basically on the Nintendo Wii. You only limited on the Wii 100, but you have like this backup system back then based on the original Wii system. But that's pretty much like in case if you don't need the Mii and you go back and forth like which one you want in the roster of, like, let's say Wii Party or Wii Sports Resort or whatever. If you're not familiar with the Wii, my Gen Alpha and my younger Gen Z folk, take a look as well. So again, you're limited with 100 Miis. Here you can create a new Mii either from scratch, choose a lookalike, or copy from an amiibo. Amiibos are basically those Nintendo action figures that are like additional downloadable content to certain aspects of a certain game. So for instance, in Smash Bros, you can use it as your main fighter. So for instance, let's say if I had the Sora amiibo, because I'm more of a Sora fighter, I can, if I did purchase it, I can use the NFC reader on the right joystick of either Joy-Con 1 or Joy-Con 2 and add that amiibo content to my Sora and customize based on my spirits of adding upgrades to him to see how powerful he is. Here's an example of what you can do. I'm going to choose a lookalike. Let's just do male. So this is what choose a lookalike looks like. I don't know what to choose. Let's just pick that one. So here's what you can do with the choose a lookalike. You can change the face. So let's take a look at each component of the different features when creating the Mii. So here are the facial structures, the skull. You have 12 options. I'm gonna zoom in pretty much on the left side. Then you have necessary makeup or mascara or cosmetics, as well as freckles and 5 o'clock shadows of facial hair. And here you have wrinkles and neck areas and cleft chins and other options. You can choose the color of the skin tone, and you go back to the skull structure. Eyebrows, very limited. You have like, I believe 23 options. Yeah, I think it's 23. or actually 24, because you have an option for no eyebrows. Let's just stick with the no eyebrows for now. Sorry about the background noise. So here's the nose options. You have 18. Oh, I think I forgot to, yeah. The eyebrow section, you can change the positioning. Let me just go back to the eyebrows. Let's just stick with those. Sorry, this is out of place. Anyway, you could change the position like this, something like that. And you can change the color of the eyebrows. You can also change it into like rainbow colors, believe it or not. You can, like, let's say I want to do, I don't know, red. Do something like this. Nose. You can change the position and the size of the nose. Facial hair. These are your mustache options, mustache options, and beard options. And you can't change your position. Actually, you can, as long as you choose the facial hair. And of course the color. You can rechange the gender. You have glasses options, position and color. Favorite color. Sadly, you're only limited with 12 and 2 variants of green and blue. Like including 2 variants of green and blue. Body shape, size, the mole as they call it. Change the position as well. The mouth, you have I thought you had to scroll, but you have more options. 36, I believe. Position and color. The color is like if you have the lip kind of mouth, so you can change the colors like that. Eyes. You have 2 pages of 36 each, so 72 options. Position, of course, color, and you can even change the color of the eyes in rainbow color, and of course hairstyle. And you have 5 pages, so that's a lot. Starting with male designs, then going to the female designs. Yeah, so you have 5 pages, but like that's really a lot. You can also change the color, of course. So yeah, and then you have the enter name or nickname. I don't know why they just say name, maybe for privacy reasons. Privacy reasons, not piracy. Privacy. And then you can press done. Let's just say done. Let's just call it a test. I'll do the same on the Switch 2 later on. Test. And then you're done. And I have my 66 Mii. I'll delete this at the end of this video. So yeah, these are your Mii collection list. The create new. The scratch is basically this. So let's just stick with male. You have this kind of default face, and you can just do the same thing. Like it's like the choose lookalike thing. So I'm not going to do that. Now this is the fun part. So I can send and receive Miis based on the console nearby the certain user. So for instance, I'll turn it on. So let me make sure. Okay, so this is more of like once you are playing in portable and handheld mode with the Wi-Fi. So unfortunately it's going to take a while to load, and what it does is I done this a few days ago to copy the Switch 1 Miis I have to the Switch 2. So that's a good option in case instead of like remaking your Mii collection one at a time and remembering the positioning of your hair and whatnot. So I might as well do this in a separate clip to show you how it really works. So yeah, these are your options to the Mii Maker. You have your Mii list, so once again, the create option, and the send and receive. We'll get back to the send and receive later. So now, and again, you're back into the black theme for your option. This one, if you stick with the white one, you'll get the white one. Anyway, so now let's take a look at the Switch 2's Mii Maker. I'm switching inputs in my HDMI switch, and this will take a while to briefly buffer. And for the Switch 2, I just set it to 1080p because of you get bad colors if you enable HDR, and the Clone Alliance Box Pro, which I've done the video on, you're only limited with 4K 30 pass-through. So if you are on the go, or you are recording gameplay with the Clone Alliance Box Pro with the Switch 2, set it to 1080p to the Switch 2. But my Switch box, well, I'll just get out of the topic. My Switch box will recognize it if automatic. It will pass through a dummy pass-through of 4K 60 to the Clone Alliance, and thinks it's 1080p. Because again, I always set my device's screen resolution to automatic, even though I have a 4K TV. Anyway, back on to the Mii Maker. So you go to the system settings, of course, like I just did. And once you get to Mii, so you have the same kind of look, even though it's on the Switch 2. So let's take a look. So now, with this, you have the black theme enabled. That's amazing. Nintendo should make an update on the Switch 1 to do that. So here, you don't have your limitation on the top right, unlike with the Switch 1, but you have a better... The difference is, however, with the app icons is the Switch 1 is more pointy square positioning, while this Switch 2 is more curved square. So that's pretty unique of what they want to be different when they released this device. So here's the Mii list. Of course, scrolling down, scrolling up, and let me see if I can see the limitation of the... No, you can't see the limitation. Here you have your start from scratch, who's lookalike, and amiibo, and the send and receive. So it's basically the same thing with the list of options. So let's just go into let's just do start from scratch. And now I didn't tinker around with every link or every tab, but you have your male and female options, your gender options, and this time instead of showing those generic kind of washroom sign kind of look of the genders, you see the Miis of the genders. So let's just stick with the male. And as you can see, you have a black hue with a halo on it. So let's see the differences. If it's the same kind of options, or they added a couple more. I didn't go through every single one in the Switch 1, but you can slow down the video if you like. So let's start with face. Same skull structure options of 24. Same makeup and freckles and 5 o'clock shadows. And same wrinkles and cleft chin and double chin. And same color options. Eyebrows, 24 options. Still. Positioning and the color. Just look at the color. Let's just change the eyebrows, for example, just to save it. To blue. Dark blue. Nose. Limited with 18. And positioning. Facial hair. Same options. Let's just put a facial on him. You have the color option. It's here. And let's go to a mustache to see the positioning. You could do something like that. Then style. So I guess they don't call it gender anymore because of the LGBTQ references. I think that's convenient to say that. That's good. That's really good. I appreciate that. Let me just take a look at it again. So these are like the generic washroom kind of signs, I guess. Or restrooms if you're American. Glasses. Options like that. Let me just go back and you have your positions and of course the color of the glasses. Let's see with that. Favorite color, you have your same old 12 options. Body, size and weight. The mole and the mole positioning. Mouth. Only limited with 72 or is it 36? I'm sorry about that. Positioning of the mouth And color of the mouth in case you have the lip kind of mouth. Eyes, same options as the Switch 1 and maybe the Wii U. And positioning and colors. And last up, before nicknames, hairstyle. Unfortunately, they don't show the number pages. So these are your options. I'll maybe slow this down so you can see very, very closely. Of course, color, and of course, rainbow colors. And last up, you have nickname. Call this Test 2, because we have a test. Just as test, because they don't call Nintendo doesn't call the regular Nintendo Switch Nintendo Switch 1, unlike with the naming, the fan naming of PlayStation with PlayStation 1. Let me just Test 2. I meant Test 2. So once you're done, click done. Same kind of jingle. So yeah, you can reorder, of course. I didn't mention that in the Switch 1, but there you go. So I'm gonna try again with the send and receive option. Setting up. Okay. Loading. I think you need to have it in a handheld mode in order to do so. So I'll make a video clip of that in a minute. Or I think if you use dock, I think this is just my opinion. I think in order to use dock, you have to have like Ethernet cable from one end of the Switch 1 to the Switch 2. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I don't know. So. Okay, that doesn't seem to work, but yeah, they're pretty much the same options. So yeah, so let's just test that as and receive option again, because I've done it. So let's just take a look at what it does. Alright guys, I'm just here on my desk with both Switch 1 and Switch 2 to show you the send and receive feature. So I think you have to play in handheld mode in order to do this. So let's just figure this out. So send and receive. It's gonna load. You can't really see the whole screen, but yeah. So let's just zoom in on Switch 1. You can see my Nintendo Switch 2 recognized with it. And if you can see right here, Nintendo Switch 1 recognized on the Switch 2. So let's just click on both of them. And here are your options to transfer. You can transfer all your Miis or certain ones. So I'm going to scroll down to those test dummies that we made in this video. So I'm going to transfer test 1 Mii to my Switch 2 and test 2 to my Switch 1. So let's start off with, I think we can do both of them at the same time. Let's start with both of them at the same time. Okay, so you actually have to do one at a time. You have to go a bit of a back and forth. So we did test 2, now let's do test 1. And there you go. You have test 1 on the Switch 2. So yeah, that's the video on the Mii Maker options on the Switch 1 and Switch 2. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. This is Noah saying goodbye, and thanks for watching.